This is ANN News Brief.
Pope Francis is considering a visit to South Sudan next year. Efforts are underway in the country to save a fragile peace deal. The pontiff has said on Sunday South Sudan's leaders should find common ground for the good of the country. Just last week, South Sudan President Salva Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar agreed to a 100-day delay in forming a coalition government to enable them resolve security and governance issues. The Pope did not give any detail of his travel plans, but he said he must visit South Sudan in 2020. Kiir and Machar had visited the Vatican earlier this year, and the Pope got down on his knees to entreat them to preserve peace. Uganda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo have signed agreements to work on key road networks within 2 years. They plan to connect the two countries to ease business, but security concerns on the route are the spoilers for business. The agreement is meant to increase trade and investment between the two countries. President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda and Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC have said trade restricting measures and infrastructure obstacles are responsible for raising the cost of doing business in the region. Museveni said both Uganda and the DRC now import many products from China, Japan and India, products they could manufacture in their countries. They plan to build more than 1,000 kilometers of 3 key road networks within 24 months, after ministers from both countries would have agreed on implementation details. Some businesses have expressed fear about militias operating in the eastern DRC. They say those militias could destabilize trade between the two countries, but Tshisekedi has reassured them Uganda and the DRC will ensure there is peace to promote business and development. We'll return after this message.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow this story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.
Health experts from Tanzania's 2 leading health institutions have joined anti-tobacco campaigners who are calling on the government to enact tougher laws against tobacco use. The health experts made the move after identifying cases of serious diseases in some patients who use tobacco products. Professor Mohammed Janabi, Executive Director of the Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute, which treats most of the patients with complications of heart disease, said there have been more than 4,000 patients who underwent surgery at the facility since 2015. He said 1/5 of them were found to have complications related to cigarette smoking. Professor Janabi was speaking at a press conference jointly called with the Tanzania Tobacco Control Forum, the Ocean Road Cancer Institute and JKCI to launch the Tobacco Industry Interference Index 2019. The Tanzania Tobacco Control Forum represents a group of anti-tobacco campaigners in the country. It wants the government to make tobacco control a national priority and enact an effective law that would help free Tanzanians from hazards of tobacco consumption. The World Health Organization, WHO, says cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death, claiming 11 million lives every year. More than 2 million of those deaths are related to smoking cigarettes. That is the ANN News Brief. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Adeyemi.